Welcome to my studio. Today I am working on a commission. I showed you a sketch at the very beginning of the video, I showed you the composition sketched up on the canvas. It's been sketched up on the canvas in a thin oil wash of my mud, which is 2 parts ultramarine blue plus 1 part alizarin crimson, and I mix that with liquid, and I mix that into a very thin wash, and that's how I sketch up my plan, my basic plan on the painting. Now this is a fall scene, and I am way out of my comfort zone. This is a little different for me, and I love commissions because I end up getting to paint things that are different, and it makes me stretch. So bear with me. I'm painting by the seat of my pants here. I'm going to start with my background. I'm going to keep my trees back here very muted. They're burgundies, and they're made of my mud plus alizarin crimson plus white. And I just want to get some color back here, but I don't want it to be real intense. I want this color back here to be more muted. We still get the feeling of those fall trees. Right here are going to be birch trees that have yellow leaves, so I want this dark behind them to then accentuate those birch trees. And I'll paint around my trunks. And I just get this covered. Right now I'm in the process, I'm just blocking in. I'm getting my canvas covered with just different tones. You can see, like, this has some orange mixed into it. I get a lot of paint on my brush, and I pick up 2 or 3 different colors. So I get some mixture up there, and that helps give the feeling of those leaves back there catching the light. This is on a gallery wrap canvas, and I paint over the top edge. Now I need to, as I'm going, I'm having to mix colors because I wasn't real sure when I started mixing exactly what values I needed. So once I get to painting, then I can go back and push and pull. And now this is a roof of our little fruit stand. Again, this is my basic wash-in, or my basic block-in, not my wash-in. And I come down, and I'll start having some dark trunks in here. Several of you have asked me to show a video of my paintings from the very start to the very finish. But I have to say, I am very, very blessed as an artist, and God has just filled me. I've got a backlog of commissions. I've got paintings I need to do for my galleries. So there is just no way I can do that. I would love to, and I know you guys want to see one done just totally from start to finish in a video, but I can't. There's just no way. I'm doing the best I can to get these up for you. This now is a mixture of my mud plus some ultramarine blue plus white, and I just am giving some blues back in here to give the feeling of some depth back in these trees. I need to make a little bit more of that mixture. I'm going to make this a little bit bluer, but still add just a touch of mud into it to dull it. I don't want it real bright. It's going to be a little bit lighter than the other mix. And that just gives our feeling of depth back there behind those trees. And I come in, these white birch trunks then will glow against that. And there's also then some greens down in here where the grass comes down on that hill. And there's also then a haze of some of the foliage, the tree drops, leaves and stuff down. Have a little road back there. I'm not worried. Right now I'm just getting my canvas covered. And this is If you want to see the rest of this painting as I work on it, you can go and see the complete step-by-step process on my blog. Now, it's not all video. I show pictures and give verbal written descriptions of what I'm doing. But go to my blog. The link is in the description below, and it's also on the final frame of my video. And that then gives you can see how the painting progresses. You'll be able to see the final image. Now, if you're watching this the day that I actually made the video, you're only going to see the very first part of the blog up there. But you can subscribe to my blog and get an email alert every time I make a new post. I'm not going to worry about working around these chili roosters right now. I just want to get this general area blocked in. So my dark. And the sunlight's hitting that fall trees up in here. And back there. Again, I want some color in it, but it's not going to be real bright because I don't want the orange in these trees to compete with I'm going to have lots of pumpkins up here, so we don't want these to be so orange that you don't see the pumpkins. The pumpkins are going to be a brighter orange. Now I start pulling these trees back here have dark trunks. So this is a mixture of my mud plus just a little bit of white. And these trees just come down this slope. And this is all painted wet into wet. Somebody asked me if I paint my paintings in layers and let them dry. No, I don't. I just paint it start to finish. And that just gives me the whole, that way I can make soft edges, paint wet into wet, and I don't really like dry. I don't like coming back and painting on a dry painting. I'd rather work it while it's all wet. And these trunks go back. They're different angles, and see, I can pull them into that wet paint, and it just makes the trunks really soft. We want those to go back. I'm going to bring a little bit more dark back in here, just behind some of these trunks. Get a feeling of some depth back in there. Now I'm taking a little bit lighter mixture of that blue plus ultramarine blue plus white, and I'm just bringing a little brush stroke of that lighter color back here. What that does, and I'll pull the trunks over in front of it, but what that does is just gives us a feeling of maybe some light hitting on the hill back there, and that helps to give depth to the painting. Mix a little bit more of my green here. I want a muted green. This green is phthalo blue plus a little orange plus some cadmium yellow medium. When you're buying the cadmium colors, I know they're more expensive, but you're much better off to go ahead and get the pure cadmium colors, particularly cadmium orange. The cadmium orange hue, when you mix white into it, it goes pink, and it is just not a good color. I'm coming back in here. I'm going to add a little, this is a little warmer mix of that. And again, there's going to be some of the leaves have fallen down on this down here, so that's putting some redder. I want a little green in there because I'm going to have there's going to be so many reds and oranges and all those colors that we need some variation, so I want to keep some green in there. Wind is blown, and so the leaves have been blown off the grass. Remember, we're the artist. We can make this however we want it to be. Now my fruit stand is going to be a bright blue, so that's going to really just vibrate against this. All the oranges and warm color and the colors back here. And actually, even though these are oranges and all, they're muted, and so they're maybe not a cool cool color, but they're a cool orange. They're not as vibrant, not as warm as the pure oranges and stuff that I'll use up in the front. When I get this finished up here in the foreground, you'll see when you look at the sketched up piece on the canvas that there's lots of pumpkins, and there'll be a lot of color in the foreground that will make that all pop forward of these muted colors in the background. And this is another opportunity to give depth in a painting. Is one way you can do that is having muted colors go back, bright, intense colors come forward. So we have muted colors here in the background. This is these little markets are wonderful. This one is based on a picture that Jack and I took of a little market that's outside Taos, New Mexico. Coming up from Santa Fe, right before you get into Taos, there's this little market, and it's called Sopin's Fruit Stand, and we've taken tons of pictures of it, and it's big. This is a small version of it, but I'm not going to work. I'm just going to be careful about that right there around the kitty's tail. Okay, I'm going to bring another little strip of light right here on the hill, coming in behind my fruit stand, and then a few little leaves and stuff in there. Again, I paint this background very impressionistically because I don't want, detail is this is another way to give the appearance of depth in a painting. Hard lines come forward, detail comes forward, more impressionistic, not as detailed, goes back. So now I'm pulling those trunks back over. See how all of a sudden it just looks like there's something in behind those trees once we start getting these trunks in. We want some of them to go back. We don't want them to be all on the same level. This one comes forward a little bit. There's trees all the way back in there. I'll bring one of these down a little bit further. Again, I don't want them all on the same line. Natural trees don't grow that way. Now, if it's a tree farm and they've been harvesting trees and replanting, then they'd be growing in distinct rows, but this is not a tree farm. And we'll have a few back here in the back, just see how that light back there gives the feeling of just lights hitting back there in the distance in between those trees. I'm going to do a little bit more in here, just to, if you've ever been out in the woods and it's a sunny day, the light will kind of pop through different areas. So that's our distant trees. This again here is going to be birches in the foreground with light trunks. And so I thank you for watching my YouTube videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Remember the link to the blog where I show the complete step-by-step progression of this painting, and it will have the final image when I'm done. That's on my blog. The link is in the description below. It's also on the final frame of my YouTube video. So you have a wonderful day, and remember today, when you're out and about, give somebody a smile. You just never know what's going on in that person's life, and that smile may be a lifesaver for them. So you have a great day, and thank you again.